Fast horses were Leverne Perry's passion, and he dedicated a lifetime of service to ensuring their success. Born January 4, 1932 in Seeper, Louisiana, Edward Leverne Perry grew up in the footsteps of his father, Jesse, a cowboy who taught his son the ideals and skills that shaped his life. As a teenager, Leverne began roping and rodeoing and always had an eye for fast horses. Leverne dismounted long enough to serve with the U.S. Army in Japan. Returning home to rodeo, he saddled a fast horse, picked up his twine, and roped calves across the South and at Madison Square Garden. In 1960 and 1965, Leverne earned the title of Louisiana State Champion All-Around Cowboy.
With quarter horse racing, I guess it was just an evolution from the rodeo. He rode horses before he could walk and loved quarter horses. He began rodeoing before he was a teenager and was quite good at it, and so good that he ended up being injured, hurt his knees, and I think the injury led him, into the horse racing industry. I think he wanted to find something that he could do that he had to be around the horse.
Leverne's love for speed led him to his most lasting impact on the development of the fastest horses on earth. As a breeder, he registered his American quarter horse in 1967 and continued breeding mares for nearly 5 decades. He raised Louisiana champions and AQHA regional champions, and when his father wanted a race-bred mare, Leverne found the Sin Fin mare Scoopy Fin for $1,000 for him and bred her to Streakin' La Jolla. Leverne named the resulting sorrel colt in honor of his father, the greatest man he ever knew. Mr. Jess Perry, the 1994 AQHA champion 2-year-old, grew into one of the breed's top all-time leading sires of runners, sires, and broodmares. Through April 2023, Mr. Jess Perry had sired more than 160 stakes winners and the earners of more than $60 million, including world champion Apolitical Jess and 8 other champions. Mr. Jess Perry was inducted into the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame in 2019.
Mr. Jess Perry's performance it's what dreams are made of for him. You breed horses, and that's what you dream about. Those are once-in-a-lifetime horses. You couldn't hardly talk about Mr. Jess Perry without Dad's eyes welling up with tears.
Leverne also leaves a legacy off the track. He co-founded the Louisiana Quarter Horse Breeders Association Youth Scholarships. He also hosted the Saturday morning television show Leverne Perry and the Little Wranglers, which ran 9 years in the 1960s, and he served as auctioneer at numerous fundraising events for youth. He also helped establish the first therapeutic riding program in central Louisiana and worked with special needs children at St. Mary's School in Alexandria.
One of his loves was working with children and helping children. He and Jim Mitchell, one of our other board members, developed the Youth Scholarship Fund for the Louisiana Quarter Horse Breeders Association. And he would travel to the schools and award the scholarships, make a speech, hand them to the kids. He loved it. He did fundraiser. He started our stallion auction to raise money. He would take the plants that were used for decoration at the end of the sale. He'd hold them up and auction them off, going, "This is going to the scholarship fund." He used to say, he said, "Before I leave this world, I want to get that fund to $1 million." As of today, they've given over $800,000 in scholarships.
An all-around horseman who made his name in rodeo and racing, Leverne became executive director of the Louisiana Quarter Horse Breeders Association in 1987 until he retired in 2013. He presided over the association's inauguration of the Mardi Gras Futurity in 1988 and the first $1 million purse for the Breeders' Futurity in 2012, both for accredited Louisiana-bred foals. He was a fierce activist for American quarter horse interests. He was especially effective in political efforts to allow the expansion of gaming in Louisiana, which led to increased purses and breeder incentive funds.
He was very instrumental in working with the legislature when they brought slots to the racetracks. Very instrumental in that process and getting a huge share of the funds dedicated to quarter horse racing and to the quarter horse breeding program in Louisiana. which has developed into one of the strongest state programs in the nation.
Tony Patterson, who followed Leverne as the association's executive director, says Leverne made the LQHBA what it is today, adding that he came to the table numerous times in the association's time of need during gaming hearings. He was extremely respected by horsemen, the Racing Commission, all 4 Louisiana racetracks, and the Louisiana government agencies. Leverne was later president of the Amicus Club Rodeo Association and inducted into Louisiana Rodeo Hall of Fame in 2002. Leverne served on the AQHA Racing Committee and the Graded Stakes and other subcommittees. He spent a lot of time and effort boosting the industry anywhere he could, for which he received the Gordon Crone Special Achievement Award in 2011. He received the LQHBA Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014 and entered the association's Hall of Fame in 2016. Leverne remained Executive Director Emeritus of LQHBA following his retirement until he passed away at age 84 on March 27, 2016. Even though Leverne loved American quarter horses, nothing brought him more pleasure and pride than being the father of daughters Karen Rush, Julie Normand, Jill Gutierrez, Lee Perry, and Amy Grimes, and grandfather and great-grandfather to their children. His children and family show him that same admiration.
He never met a stranger. You know, if you were sitting in the corner, he would come up to you and he would bring you in, scoop you up, and make you feel part of everybody. He was a kind of person that if there was a fence there, the fence could be moved. And that was one of the biggest lessons he taught me in life, was that you can start things, you can invent things, you can, move the fence.
I have one or two things I always say to the young people. This is America. I watched some of the jet streams a minute ago. You can go anywhere in this world and be anything you want to be, but never forget where you came from.
Leverne's children believe he is up in heaven and would be so proud to achieve the highest recognition in the industry, being inducted into the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame. Leverne was a family man who dedicated a lifetime of service to ensuring the success of the American Quarter Horse Association. We honor the late Leverne Perry by inducting him into the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame.